Hello everybody, my name is Hafiz Shah from Pulsar.org, and as usual we're looking at four wheels. There's one big difference though, the four wheels are on two different vehicles. Today we're looking at the brand new Modenas Pulsar RS200 and the Pulsar NS200. These are brand new models in collaboration with Bajaj Auto of India. Prices start at just 9,300 ringgit for this one, the NS200, going up to 11,300 ringgit for the RS200. Putting that into perspective, that's about 1,000 ringgit within 1,000 ringgit of the Super Cup 150 Cup Chais. So you top up another 1,000 ringgit, you get a proper bike, center tank. On the other hand, the RS200, this is a sports bike. And this goes for 11,300 ringgit, and that's about half the price of comparable name brand sports bike like the Honda 250s and the Kawasaki's. So yes, these two new Modenas bikes offer fantastic value for new bike owners. Now we're going to take a look at the details first. In front here, this RS200 looks a little bit like the R1. Very cool looking front end with projector headlamps, and these are LED DRLs. Even the side indicators are full LED. And down the side, it's a very big highlight for this bike. These are brake disc 300mm diameter discs by Bajaj. This is a slightly budget brand by Brembo. And if you look closer, this bike has ABS. You can see the ABS ring here and the sensor right there. This makes it one of the cheapest bikes with ABS, and that's a very good safety feature which we always recommend most new riders to always look out when you're looking for a new bike. The NS200 does not have ABS, which explains why it's about 2,000 ringgit cheaper. But down here, the engine is the same. It's the exact same 200cc single cylinder liquid cooled triple spark engine. This engine makes 24.5 PS at just below 10,000 RPM and 18.6 Newton meters of torque. And moving back, you see a big exhaust canister on the RS200, whereas later we look at the NS200 that has a much smaller exhaust. At the back here is a smaller brake disc, 230mm in diameter, but it's also by Bajaj with ABS. If you look up here, this bike has a very unique taillight. It looks a little bit alien in terms of shape. Some people like it, some people hate it. Me, it's not quite for me. Unique to this bike is this chain adjuster, so you can adjust the tension of your chain fairly easily. And if you look closer on this side, this is Nitrox suspension system. It's got a separate canister, and this is adjustable for preload as well. If you look at the engine, and from this side, from the left side, there's a Bajaj logo on the engine itself, so there's no hiding that this is a Bajaj instead of a Modenas. In fact, the only place where a Modenas logo appears is on the back tail here. And if you look closely, that's actually a sticker. That's just a sticker. Moving on to the NS200, and the whole front end is different. It's got reflector halogen headlamps, and if you look closer, there's a Bajaj logo as well. Here, all the lights are using bulbs, the headlamps, the signals, and even the DRLs, they're all normal bulbs instead of LED. And as I mentioned, this bike does not have ABS, and even the disc is slightly smaller. The diameter here is 280mm compared to 300mm on the RS200. But the calipers are still by Bajaj. On the side here, this being a naked, there's a lot less fairing, so everything's more exposed. And on the side here, there's a nice indicator of your coolant level. Down here, where the engine is, there's also an indicator to see your engine oil. And at the back, as I mentioned, the exhaust is really small. You gotta go really close to it. And yep, that small little pipe, that's the exhaust. And one thing that's unique to the NS200 is the center stand. Only the NS gets this, the RS does not have this. Moving on to the back, has a much neater tail in my opinion. Everything looks a lot more integrated. This is very cool, looks like a European bike of sorts. But as I mentioned, the side indicators are still using bulbs instead of LEDs. The Pulsar NS200 also has this called the crash bar. This is a safety feature to protect the bike in case you drop it. So in case you drop it, this will absorb the bumps so the engine stays intact. This being a cruiser rather than a sports bike, the riding position is a bit different. The seat height is taller compared to the RS200, and even the handlebars are raised up slightly. This gives you a much better, much more relaxing cruising riding position. One cool feature that I like about these two bikes is this. All the controls on the handlebars are illuminated. So if it's at night and it's dark, you can know exactly what you're going to press. The ignition here, and on the left you have the horn button. So that's about it for these two new Modenas Pulsar NS200 and RS200 models. I think these are great bikes at fantastic values, available for Malaysia for the first time. So yeah, if you're looking for a new bike, you've got about 9,000, 11,000 ringgit to spend. These two should be on your shopping list. Thank you for watching. This is me, Hafrishah from Polsan.org, signing off.